searching for something to put a smile back on your face. Just remember, in unusual times, it can come from an unusual place. You need a partner for the ride, 'cause everybody needs a Clyde. So set your worries to the side. Just ask, say the word and I'll be there. Just ask, you know the greatest things in life all come in a pair. They say hindsight's 20/20, but that ain't far enough behind me. So if you want the sweetest honey, I think hindsight's 1990. There's no need to pretend I got a hand I can lend, 'cause when you really need a friend, just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sara Fergenson. Sarah, how are you?
Jess, it seems as though we are surviving and not thriving after a holiday season. I think you and I are just both tired.
Rundown.
But
I think
we're
rundown is the word.
Oh my gosh. That reminds that rundown is my favorite saying.
Yeah, you love saying that you're rundown.
I'm pretty run down, actually.
Mhm.
No, it's just like a lot, like there's so much family and like friends and like game
travel.
nights and all sorts of things. And none of which was like my family. So it's like a bunch of people that like I met this year, which was
Yeah.
an endeavor. It's just like a lot, but like it all went well. I'm just exhausted on the other end of it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think December is a tough month for a lot of people just because it's so busy and stressful and like you pretty much don't have any downtime. And so we're recording this right before New Year's. So
Mhm.
you're all listening to it on New Year's Day probably. So happy New Year, future
Happy New
people.
Year's. Happy
Yeah.
2024. I hope everybody's wishes comes true. I don't know,
Mhm.
Jess, like high and low of 2023. You want to do this quickly?
Yeah, why not?
Why
We're in
not?
2024 now.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I can
Let's
go
see.
first.
Yeah, please do.
Well, okay, so like the high is obviously I traveled a lot. Like
Mhm.
I mean like I went to Florida, I went to Seattle for the first time, I went to upstate with you. I went to Chicago and the Midwest for the first time in my life. So a lot of travel, a lot
Mhm.
of exploring. Obviously, I fell in love. And I guess like the low is just like literally everything in my life changed in 2023, and
Yeah.
when I come out on the other end of all the rubble, it it does like fuck me up to be like, wow, like a year ago my life looked so much different, and although I
Yeah.
don't regret any of it, it's definitely the whiplash of like, realizing that everything is pretty much different in my life except for this podcast is a constant and my day job is a constant, and pretty much everything else has changed, and then
Mhm.
just reeling over that fact. But
Yeah.
2023 was definitely like such a monumental year of my life,
Yeah.
and I know I came out on the other end of it in a better place.
Yeah, I feel like it was super transformative for you this year. And
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
and I had said to you too, like when you were going through it back a few months ago, you were like in the hub of the transformation. You were like right
Yeah.
in the eye of the storm. I was like, you're going to be through this soon. You're going to be on the other side of it soon. And then you get to like start this brand new life for yourself, which is like
Yeah.
very, very exciting. So
It is
I'm
exciting.
happy that you went. I mean, that was a really tough moment for you to go through that whole period of time, but
Oh, and
now you're on the
if
other side of
people
it.
yeah, okay, so actually, you know what? I like, there totally might be, like, new people that weren't here, but in 2023, I broke off an engagement, of a relationship that I was in for 16 years. I moved across country, leaving all of my friends to a brand new city that I've never been to. I started a new relationship and I fell in love, which was super great, but very different. Had to give away one of my dogs to my ex, which is probably the most heartbreaking thing of the year. I totaled my car.
Oh
I
my
like
God, yeah.
anything and everything that could have happened this year pretty much did.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely like a lot. But
Yeah.
anyway, how about you? High and low, high and low.
Yeah, so definitely the high would be going on our European vacation that we had
Mm,
like in the works for 3 years now. For those who don't know, like originally we were supposed to go to Greece on our honeymoon. We got married in 2020. So for anybody who is has a brain and was a living conscious person in 2020, you know why that couldn't happen. And so it got delayed, it
mhm,
got delayed, it got delayed, and eventually we ended up doing a European vacation to Rome and or Italy and Greece this year on like a cruise. It was absolutely incredible. Like I got to experience so much culture that I wouldn't have otherwise done. I got to eat so much delicious food. It was
mhm.
really like a trip of a lifetime, and I got to do it all with my husband, and it was like I can't imagine traveling with a better person. For me personally, I'm not necessarily the best traveler all the time, and so to have him there with me was
Uh-huh.
like wonderful and reduced my stress levels immensely. So that was really great. That was definitely my high of the year, alongside a few other like trips, like we had like a big group of our friends went up to my parents' camp for a week. And that was
Mhm.
really fun. Like anytime I get together with my friends and stuff, which it doesn't happen super often, is always just like such a fun experience. So that was a really great time. And my dog got to meet one of our friend Brenna's
Oh,
dogs, and they got
that
along like peas and carrots.
ironically, that was my low of the year.
And so yeah, so that I definitely would say was the high point. And the low point, I feel like for anybody listening would know that like my dog was diagnosed with cancer this year, and that is and continues to be the absolute like toughest thing I've had to deal with.
Mhm.
He's fine right now, currently in this moment in time, in this time capsule that we're in. He's okay. He's living out his life with us at home, getting spoiled rotten every single day of his life.
Yeah,
But it's still been really, really tough as I'm like extremely soul bonded to that boy. So but that certainly was the low point, but we're pushing through.
yeah.
And the other high point worth mentioning is like I had a pretty transformative year in terms of I completely changed my career
Oh, yeah.
the middle of the year, and I'm like still living with those, like obviously that big change. I'm still adjusting to it now, I would say, but I'm getting into the groove of like having a totally different type of job, and I'm really loving it. But yeah, this year was certainly transformative, I think, for both of us. And
Mhm.
I'm excited to see I mean, a new year always feels like a little bit of a fresh start. So I'm excited to see what 2024 has in store for us.
Yeah. I hope that we're looking back, next year, same podcast, end of year, and I hope that, like, we're both feeling a little bit better, but, like, I think
Yeah.
at this point in time, we're just, like once again, just, like, looking at the rubble of, like, how much life we lived in the last year and just being like, "Wow, like, how did we get here? Like, how did
Yeah.
all this stuff happen?" But, of course, you and I had a lot of podcasting to do this year.
Oh, yeah. Do you
Um
want to hear a fun little statistic?
Oh, you did some stats. Love it.
Well,
Let's
it's
go.
just like one stat mainly. So,
Oh.
as you know, I've been keeping track of how many podcasts I've recorded throughout the
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
And this will be our 69th podcast of the
Heyo! We did
year.
69 in 2023.
We
Okay.
did.
I
Yeah.
gotta
Isn't that a fun
say
little stat?
69ing is it's a more interesting concept than it is fun. I
I
hate
mean, yeah,
it.
I don't think it's something that people would like. It doesn't seem like something that makes sense that people would enjoy. Like, it seems too complicated.
Yeah, yeah, I
There's too much
mean
going on.
okay, so, like, I've done it. Like, okay, girls have to go on top because there's nothing worse than being choked on
Oh my
by a
god, yeah,
dick
you would
when the guy's on
gag.
top, which I
Yeah.
have experienced before. It's terrible. It's my
Yeah.
worst nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, think of the like, talk about terrible ways to die. Like, just choking on a dick just feels like a terrible way to go.
How okay, like, you do that, you pass away. Like, how do you compensate that with the afterlife? Like, they're trying to, like, book you in and be like,
Death.
"Okay,
You're at
okay,
the
like,
pearly gates.
yeah, these are your accomplishments in life, like, this is, like, the best thing, like, you have done all these good deeds. Oh, okay, so, um, reason for death, choked on dick. Well,
Whoops. I think that when you like approach the pearly gates, they just
yeah,
have this like holographic like little infographic next to you that has
yeah,
like name, date of birth, date of death, like source of
how?
death, how you
Yeah.
died, and chokes on dick. I mean, like that's so
That's a low.
embarrassing. It's
That's definitely a
embarrassing.
low. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I would prefer for me to just go right back into the pool for reincarnation. That's
Yeah.
like I don't need to hear any facts or
Also, can
statistics.
I just get an easier life on the next go? Can I be like a capybara or like a
Oh, you
giraffe
want
or
that?
I mean, I wanna be an animal
No, I don't
100%.
want to be an animal. I want a human. I just want to like get to redo all the shit that I wish I didn't do, like no credit cards until I'm financially responsible.
It's
Make
fair. It just
sure
feels like the
that
human life is like one of the tougher ones, you
the
know?
only thing that I want in the next life is like, you know, those people that can do absolutely nothing to their teeth, like barely brush them, like don't
Yeah,
go to the dentist for like 10 years and they don't have like zero, they have like zero cavities.
you want
That's the
that life.
only thing that I want in the next life.
I mean,
I
if
don't
we're
want
picking and choosing, I'm
this
picking a very high metabolism.
oh yeah, yeah. I just don't want this soft teeth life in my
Yeah.
next thing.
I also envy the people that don't think all the time. I would love to be a
Mm.
person who just has like an empty head
So you
sometimes.
just want to be someone that's dumb as shit. Yeah.
I mean, kind of. Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss, I'm not gonna lie. And also, like, I would love to just be as fucking dumb as Felicity Porter herself.
Oh my
That's
god,
my
this
wish.
episode. So we had last time we podcasted, we were like, okay, what kind of cheating scandal is this? You know, is it like a relationship cheating scandal?
Mhm.
And I was like, I couldn't believe. I'm like every episode Felicity. I don't understand how Felicity is someone people root for or like. Like she does the dumbest fucking shit ever.
I don't okay, yes, yes. I was about to say, like, I don't think that you're supposed to like her. I do think that we're supposed to like her. Like, I think that we're supposed to be, like, endeared to her, and she's just, like, a foot and mouth girl. She's just, like, a product of her own, like, awkward situations, but she's a hot mess. Now it this episode actually did crack me up. Like I was laughing my butt off at all the stupidness. And I don't know how you feel, but like a part of me just wants to like get through Julie's storyline, get through Elena's storyline and just like dig in deep into like this meaty steak that is
Yeah.
Felicity because like I really don't care to like go scene by scene with like Elena and Pink Eye. Like I just or not Elena, Julie. What are these people's names?
Julie and Pink Guy. Jeez, we take a week off and we forget everyone's character names. Julie and Pink Guy
Yeah,
and Elena, and I think his name is Blair.
Blair,
Is the Tin Man.
Bryce.
I
Okay,
think it's Blair.
Blair. Okay.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
you
their
want to?
storylines are pretty easy. We can like recap those at the top because then we could dig into the meat and potatoes of the episode.
And I need a good meal. So,
Yeah.
let's start out with Elena and Blair
Yeah.
because it's like it's fine. So, as we know in the last episode was the spooked episode and they met at the Halloween party Elena was a sandwich artist for Halloween. We know that Noel ditched her, and Blair was
Yeah.
the Tin Man, and they met, they talked, they had vibes, and I thought, and they slept together. That's the other
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
In Elena's dorm, and I thought that everything was going to be great, and Elena was going to be happy. But I think that the point of Elena is that this woman is never happy.
Yeah, she
Because
never really is having a happy moment. I think she's a little bit of a chronic overthinker as well.
yeah. So what happened was, I guess the rumor got around the dorm room floor that her and Tin Man, aka Blair, slept together because now everybody's like singing
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow and
Which is
different,
so funny.
which is kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie.
It's so funny to
Yeah.
imagine her like in a bathroom stall and suddenly someone next to them is like, somewhere.
Yeah, and like, okay, it's like the saying, like, once is a coincidence, twice is like
A pattern or something,
a
right? Is that
pattern,
it?
you know?
Yeah.
So, like, we know, like, at first, maybe it just, like,
Yeah.
started getting around, and Elena's pissed because, I guess she doesn't want people to know her business, which is
I mean,
respectable.
I was gonna say, I think she's someone who likes her private, like, life private, and I
Yeah, I
think
hate those people,
she's
they're so boring.
and she like I also think she's concerned because she likes Blair. And so she's like not used to cuz Blair is being so like nice and very much like available. And I feel like she's possibly gotten screwed around in the past because he's like asking her out to dinner multiple times even after and
Yeah.
she's not and it's not in a creepy way. She's not like
It's
rejecting him. You know what I mean? Like
It's a little creepy. Like, he is, like, coming around with orange chicken. Every corner that she turns, Blair is there.
yeah. But I like his approach where he says, "Listen, I'm going to be at this restaurant tomorrow at this
Yeah.
time, and if you're not there, I won't bother you again." And I like that cuz it opens the door for her to make a decision. However, when she doesn't show up, he brings her food, and I'm like, "This wasn't the arrangement, Blair."
This was not the arrangement. He is a creepy
Yeah.
stalker. He took the Noel and Felicity test. It seems like every couple has to have a creepy stalker. And,
Right.
I guess that Blair is the one. Now, do you remember when Elena was blowing up at Noel? Because I don't remember why she was mad at Noel, just besides the fact that Noel exists and he kind of has a punchable face. Like, why is Elena mad at Noel?
Because, well, for I think there's a few reasons. One, she put the witch decoration on her door, and she does not
Wait,
like
we're
that.
still not over that?
Two, he ditched her at the Halloween party, and
Okay.
three, she thinks he's the one responsible for spreading the hot goss
Oh,
about her
come
and Blair.
on, Elena. You know for a fact that Noel is so up Felicity's ass that he has no time to spread rumors
Yeah.
about Elena. Come
Well, and
on.
then the other thing is Elena, we all thought Elena is the one with the good head on her shoulders. You know, we're like,
Yeah.
Elena is smart, she's resourceful, she knows how to get a free mini fridge. Elena is like, of all the people I'm gonna ask for relationship advice, I'm gonna talk to Felicity.
Okay, that was so dumb. And
Girl, what are you doing?
doesn't she stop the elevator?
Yes! Which I love when they eventually do get off the elevator, that there's people waiting and they look
I don't
pissed.
understand. You have access to her room. Megan is never there. And Felicity just shows up at your door like every other morning anyway. Why do you have to stop the elevator? And don't ask for relationship advice from Felicity. Also, I love how Elena is like, yeah, sometimes you just want to fuck the bros. And you do, like, how we always just fuck the bros.
Just fuck
And
the bros, yeah.
Felicity's face in the background was like, I do not know that you just fuck the bros. Nobody told me that. I thought you just obsess and fall in love with the bros.
Yeah. This is like Elena. Like, you're making poor decisions here.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay. You can make decisions, but just never involve Felicity because she's
Never.
only going to make things worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Felicity does not know how to give relationship advice. She only knows how to stalk and ruin everybody's life. Now, Elena, if you want to ruin everybody's life, that's fine. That is totally
Yeah.
fine. But that's the only thing that Felicity knows how to do.
Yeah.
And then by the time we get to the end of the episode, like, is Elena and the Tin Man, are they okay?
I think the thing is, I think she likes him because she
Yeah.
does take the orange chicken and she like we see her eating it.
She tastes the peace offering.
She does. But I hate okay, this is a thing that I'm not a big fan of in like rom-coms, in teen dramas, and all of that stuff. So Blair and Elena slept together one time, right? They had one night together. And
Sure.
this man is like, I know you. I know your type. You're the one who like pushes people away because they're so scared. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you fucked her one time. That does not give you
Mhm.
the right to psychoanalyze her. I hate people like this. It's so
Yeah.
frustrating. And maybe he's right, but like, sir, you barely know this woman. You stop it.
We know this man is a psychology major and took one
Yes.
101 class and is like, I know the human brain and I know how people work and I will tell you every which way. There is
Yeah.
nothing more insufferable when people were like, well, I was a psych major, so this is how I see is going on here. It's like, okay, you took 2 classes in psychology and that's it. You don't know shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, Blair. So, but seemingly they seem okay, and like, I'm assuming this isn't the end of their relationship. You know, like I
No,
assume we're
he's
gonna
in the
see more
long
of them.
haul.
Yeah.
Kinda, maybe.
Um.
Maybe just, like,
So,
a couple more episodes because he did not make the, opening credits.
oh, true. He's not in the opening credits, but I do. I mean, we, male energy. We need more than just Ben and Noel. So
Yeah.
happy and Pink Guy is there, I guess, too. But like, we're gonna talk about Pink Guy because
Is Pink Guy there?
Pink Guy is there, and like Julie is talking about how like, oh, her and Pink Guy are going to go to the movies and they're gonna and she keeps calling it Solaris and
No,
or
she says it's
Solaris
hilarious, and
and
then
Felicity keeps
Felicity
correcting her.
Felicity is a pretentious bitch and is like, "It's Solaris." And it's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, but Felicity, you know what she means. So why do
Yeah.
you have to correct her? Because it doesn't matter."
Yeah, so Felicity's like, "Oh no, like it's 5 hours. Like it's people speaking Russian on a spaceship for 5 hours." I looked at this movie. It came out in 1972, but there's also a remake from 2002 and there's also a 1968 movie. I
Mm.
truly have no idea which one is which, but the 72 movie is almost 3 hours. So it's not 5
No.
hours like Felicity is
Mm,
saying.
what? No, 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 no. What's the 60s movie? I feel like
Let's see.
that has to be
19.
the one.
Maybe it's longer. Let's see. 1968. Oh, no, it's shorter. 143
Alright,
minutes.
so it was the movie from the 70s.
Yeah, which is still
Uh,
long. It's still
it's an hour.
long.
I would not watch this movie if you paid me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously the move in all of these situations is always have a conversation with Pink Guy and tell him about this. But no, Julie is freaking out because she really likes Pink Guy and she's worried because he like loves movies that she's like not going to know what's going on in this movie. She's going to look like an idiot. And so she has a plan. And her
I
plan
like
is to
this
go.
plan.
I don't think it's a bad plan. But the problem is you're going to have to watch a 5-hour movie twice.
That is a problem.
That's a big
Um,
problem. Yeah.
that's a problem. I like this plan. I think that this was very resourceful of her. She decides that she's going to go to her local Blockbuster and rent Solaris. And do we know who the movie store guy was? Because he looks so
Yes.
familiar.
Okay, I will tell you who he is because I recognized him immediately.
Yeah, who
So,
is he? I
if
knew he's
you'll
somewhere.
there is a 90s film that he is in that we've never covered that like I don't know that we need to cover it, but it was one of my favorite movies as a teenager growing up. American Pie. He is
Yes.
in American Pie.
Yes.
He plays I'm trying to look up his name. So okay, he plays Finch.
He's
The
the one that
actor,
fucks
the mom,
the mom,
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's
Yes.
mom.
Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I really actually I used to watch a lot of American Pie.
Because it was so good. It was so
I
funny.
would totally cover American Pie.
Okay, we need to add that to the list because
Yeah.
maybe it's a summer film. It feels very summery too because there's like all the band camp talk.
It's definitely a summer film. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Eddie K. Thomas is the name of the actor, and that is the like blockbuster employee that she like has this whole conversation with. And I thought for a second, Sarah, I was like, oh, is she gonna end up falling for this guy instead of Pink Guy?
I felt those vibes too, but I don't think so.
No, I mean, it was just there were like flirty vibes.
I saw that. I thought the funniest thing out of that whole interaction was the fact that she was like, I wish there's spark notes for movies. And in my head, I was just like, fucking IMDb or Wikipedia, but it didn't exist yet. So
yeah,
I
and
guess
the
it just didn't
YouTube,
happen.
right? Like a YouTube recap, like that obviously
Oh,
didn't
I
exist yet either.
love a YouTube recap.
Me
Yeah,
too.
so she goes and rents the movie, and like the movie itself had like 4 tapes or something insane like that. And she goes to watch it. In doing so, Pink Guy like knocks on the door and is like, "Hi, look, I have the tickets." And she doesn't let him in the room because she doesn't want him to know that she's pre-watching the movie.
Yeah.
It was a little awk, but she does it. She watches the entire movie. They go on the
Mhm.
date. She falls asleep during the second viewing of the movie,
Yeah,
and
when
then she's
they're
like,
at the theater.
yes. And she's so embarrassed, but Pink Guy's like, don't worry about it. Like, I totally get it. Like, it's a really long movie. I
Yes.
fell asleep a little too. And Julie's like, no. And I think she voices her opinion and she's like, look, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I watched this movie. I did homework because I didn't want you to think I was a dumb whore. And he's like, I would never think you were a dumb whore, Julie. I really, really like you. Let's go make out. And she's like, okay, bet, let's make out.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Mhm.
it.
No, I liked this from Pink Guy, right? Like he's okay. Speaking as someone who like we just watched a show where sometimes the lead character is super into movies and can be a bit of like a pretentious douche about it.
Yeah.
I thought Pink Guy was really lovely about this whole situation. He tries to make her feel better. He lies and he says he fell asleep too. He's like, it's not a big deal. When she says, but you really like movies, he says, I really like you. And that was so freaking cute.
That was the line. That was the perfect line. Men take notes. That's
Take
all you
notes.
have to do. That's all you have to do is be like, that was such a good line. And I was like, Pink Guy has Riz. He
He's
has
doing
Riz.
it.
He's
Yeah.
doing it. That's how you get the girl.
Yeah. And so they end the episode like really cute, all like cuddled up on a couch. And I was like, damn, okay, it's working out for them. We like this. This is like a cute
Yeah, yeah.
couple. I'm feeling
I
it.
I do like the fact that Julie is getting away from the messiness that
Yes.
is the Ben and Felicity and Noel love triangle. Not that she was into Noel yet, but I liked the fact that she's getting away from it. This is what we were saying about the Creek Creeps. Get away from her own incestuous circle.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Like, let's be real. Was like Julie is kind of in the middle of like all the Felicity Ben cheating drama, but you know who doesn't get roped into the whole thing? Julie, because she's off with
Julie.
Pink Guy.
Julie is minding her own business, and I love that
Yes.
for her. And that's all she wanted. And she has a single dorm room that looks very cozy and has a big fluffy chair. Julie is
Yes.
doing college right.
Yeah, exactly. Claps for Julie because she's killing it.
Yeah,
Unlike
I think that
Felicity.
And even Pink Eye, I wasn't loving him because I thought that he was kind of a loser, but he did the line that would have worked really well on me, and I think that's a big win.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to remember if he was wearing pink this episode.
No, he wasn't, which kind of pissed me off.
Okay, why did they do that? If you're gonna set something up, you have to continue it the entire season.
For the entire time that he's there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not enjoy the fact that he did not wear pink this episode.
That's upsetting.
Yeah, I was pretty upset. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
From cozy breakfast nooks to formal dining areas, Ashley has versatile dining options starting at just $499.99. And for a limited time only, you can receive a $250 mattress credit with the purchase of any 6-piece bedroom set. Plus, get 60 months special financing on select in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Shop and save today, only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. No minimum purchase required. See ashley.com for details.
Ladies, get ready for an electrifying night of entertainment as Thunder from Down Under comes to the Rivers Casino Event Center on November 23rd. Heralded as the #1 male revue in the world, Australia's Thunder from Down Under has been captivating audiences for over 3 decades with unmatched charm and talent. Get ready for heart-pounding dance numbers, sensational costumes, and interactive audience engagement for a night you'll never forget. Thunder from Down Under at Rivers Casino Event Center, November 23rd. Details and tickets at riverscasino.com.
Hannaford presents You've Got This in the Bag.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said this butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter. So she bought a bit of butter, put it in her bitter batter. Okay, how was that?
Yeah, hun. I think you're more than ready for the middle school auction.
This guy has auctioneering in the bag. You know what else he has in the bag? Saving on quality foods at Hannaford.
Oh yeah, with Hannaford store brands, our family gets the food we love most at the lowest price on the shelf. And believe me, I know a good price when I hear it.
Quality is in the bag at Hannaford Supermarkets.
Okay, let's get into Felicity's storyline because this is the bread and butter. This is the nonsense.
What a dumb hoe. Okay, so we start off like we do every episode where Felicity is writing to her imaginary friend. And she's saying that, like, I had an interaction with Ben. It was amazing. It was magical. It was the best moment of my life. But of course, it was so good. I should have known that everything was going to go to hell. So
this is Ben, ridiculous, by the way.
I know. She's stupid. So her and Ben are studying, doing something, eating tacos. They're
eating chips and salsa.
Oh, this is also something that pissed me off so bad because I love salsa. Like, salsa is kind of my favorite food. And the chip is just the carrier for the salsa, which is the good part of that snack. Even though I love both, like chips and salsa is my favorite. Felicity dunks the chip so quickly.
Yeah. She doesn't get any of like the chunky salsa on the chip.
So that pissed me off. But anyway, they're eating chips and salsa, and she got some cilantro in her tooth. And Ben leads her on by going really close to her. And like it looks like he's leaning in for a kiss. And that's what Felicity's expecting. But instead, he's like, I'm going to flick this piece of cilantro
and he does
out
it
of your teeth.
Yeah. And first of all, if this is a platonic situation, if there's something on someone's tooth, you say, oh, you have something right here. And you point to your own tooth. Now, that's point number 1. Number 2, you certainly don't lean in that intimately and stare at their lips. Thirdly,
this is what you gotta do. If you're you finish your numbers, and I'll tell you what I would do in this situation.
The other thing he made a mistake in doing is this was such an aggressive flick on her teeth. Like, to the point where I was like, what did he just do? Like, I thought I had the time sped up on my episode because it was so fast.
Yeah. Now, okay, so this is what you gotta do. You go, Felicity, I am so sorry, but you have a big honking piece of cilantro in your tooth. And then she tries to get it. She doesn't get it off. And she's going like, okay, it's driving me crazy. I'm just gonna get it. And then you flick it off. Like, we are not leaning in for the sloppiest, wettest, horniest kiss. To not go in for the kiss and just flick her tooth. This sets Felicity off in like every single time Felicity gets yelled at and she's like, okay, he hates me. He comes back and reels her in like a fish.
Yeah.
So she's leaving, and once again, a very intimate interaction. And basically he's like, oh, I have to print out my essay and hand it in. And Felicity's like, oh, and also he's like, but I have to proofread it. And Felicity's like, oh, I can do this for you.
Yeah, something about like spell check, right? Like he needs spell check, but it keeps freezing on his computer. So she takes his floppy disk.
She took his floppy jalopy disc and is like, I will take this and I will spell check for you. No problem. So she inserts her floppy disk into her computer that is 100,000 years old and is reading his essay, and all she's supposed to do is spell check. That is all you're supposed to do, Felicity. You have
literally
one task.
The easiest job. The easiest job. And your computer does it for you.
Yes, exactly. You're just supposed to let it spell check. But Felicity is like, oh, I want to rewrite this essay right now.
This is crazy to me because when I was first watching it, I saw her like delete a paragraph and rewrite it. And I was like, oh, that's not too bad. Like if she thought the intro was bad and she just rewrote the intro, that's totally fine. No, she rewrites the entire thing. And I'm like, this is only a lunatic does this. Like, why?
And we're sitting here like, why is she doing this? Obviously she's doing it because she's in love with Ben. She wants Ben to get good grades, and also she kind of gets off on doing homework because she's like
smiling.
Yes,
she's
she's
smiling while she's doing this.
Yes, she is. So she goes, she hands in the essays, she prints them out, she is happy as a clam. She's like,
can I tell you
did a good job
when she's going to drop the papers in the like little bin that to pass them in? I swear to God, for like a split second, I thought she was gonna like kiss his papers.
I thought she was doing that too.
Right? There was such a long pause.
I thought she was going to do that too.
Yeah.
So let's jump forward to class time because we are going to class, and this is some sort of English
I think it's poetry.
class.
I think it's still poetry. Yeah.
Who knows? We're in class, and the teacher, the professor, is drilling and grilling Ben about like, tell me this.
Very specific questions.
Because he's suspicious, right? Like he's like this, which by the way, it's like your college professor, like you don't get to know your students really like a high school student does, but whatever, let's live in the world.
Especially in this big of a class. Like they're in a full-on lecture hall, and as someone who took classes in a lecture hall, like there really isn't a ton of one-on-one interaction with the professors. So I totally agree with you. I can't imagine him being like remembering about each individual student enough to be like, oh, this is out of the ordinary for this student.
Exactly. I that's how I felt. But we're living in a world that there's like 5 students in this lecture hall.
We know them all.
And one of them is Ben.
Yes.
So Ben's like gooped and gagged. He's like, I don't know. You're like picking on me. I don't know any of these answers. And then Felicity is full Hermione and is like, hi, let me answer all these questions.
And this was a terrible idea also, because I feel like jumping in to protect Ben, A, proves that like you do know the answer, so you could be the culprit. And B, it's like, you look like a fucking know-it-all bitch.
Right. And then also it's just embarrassing for Ben.
Yeah.
So then the professor is like, hi, children, all of your essays are graded. And I've never seen this before, but I'm just going to put them on a table in a gigantic pile and find it.
This is a terrible idea. Like, yeah, they're everywhere. It's willy-nilly. Anybody can take any paper they want.
Just find it. Like, your name is probably there. It's probably there. Felicity. Oh, this was the interesting thing. I don't know what Felicity got or Julie got, but
Julie got an A-.
So then Felicity got an A.
And Felicity got an A, I believe. Yeah.
All right, good for them.
Yeah, but like Ben immediately gets pulled into the professor's office, and he's just like, this doesn't sound like you. This is like very inconsistent. And Ben is like, what are you talking about? Like, he thinks that he must have improved from his last paper. And so he's like, just because I improved, like you accuse me of cheating, this is bullshit.
Yeah. And in Ben's defense, at this point in time, he has no idea that Felicity did anything. So he's really like, this professor is just like up my ass. And he shares that at lunch with Julie and Felicity. And Felicity is sitting there wide-eyed, doe-eyed, like, I done fucked up.
She has the most guilty face I've ever seen in my entire life. And Ben doesn't get it until she follows him and is like, I rewrote it. And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like, I rewrote your paper. I was spell checking and then I rewrote it. And like, ma'am, you are a lunatic.
Yeah. So it's a couple of things, because the professor cares so much that instead of just failing him, he's like, I'm going to bring you to the disciplinary board and we're going to have to do a whole ass meeting.
We're going to do an investigation.
These people don't get paid enough to give a shit about this. But anyway, so Ben's pissed because he did not ask for Felicity to rewrite the paper. He just asked her to run spell check on Word, and print out the
Yeah.
paper. That's it. He did not
Yeah.
even want Felicity to read the paper, but she took it upon herself to do it.
And I love when he
And
screams in her face, "Get away from me! Get away from me!" I'm like, you should have said that weeks ago.
yeah, and he runs away from her. Now
Yeah.
Felicity is so bent out of shape. She feels
Felicity,
very
no,
guilty.
Felicity is so fucking dumb because she immediately goes to Noel because Noel is like
Yes.
her quasi therapist, and she divulges this to him, an RA, by the way.
Yeah.
She divulges this secret to him, and she's just like, "Oh, I rewrote it," and it's just like, and he's like, "You did what?" And like, I don't. She has like no concept of how bad this is. Like in her mind, she's like, "Oh, it's gonna be fine. It's totally fine," and it's like, girl, that's plagiarism. Like that's full on like cheating. That's not okay. Like this is a college. This isn't high school. Like you're going to get
Yeah.
into big trouble. You're at fucking NYU for God's sake. Like
Yeah.
this is craziness that to me she has such like her being upset is because she's upset Ben, not because she possibly just got him kicked out of college.
Exactly. I mean, I do think that there's a level of being put on academic probation, and then if you get in trouble or like do something one more time, then you are kicked out. Like I think there's a little bit of a buffer,
Could
but
be, but like
I don't
also
know.
think about like scholarships and stuff. Like a lot of times those will get ripped away from you if you do
True.
anything bad, you know?
Very
Like
true.
she could lose her like work study thing, you know what I mean? Like there's a
True.
lot to lose, and like we'll learn later that then this also seems so suspicious and silly to me, but Noel was like they go through your entire portfolio, so they're going to look at his application
Of
letter, and I'm like
course they are. No, they
bullshit.
won't. No, they won't. So Noel is a narc, and he goes to some sort of dean and is like,
Yeah, the
hypo-
student dean or something.
hypothetically, if this exact scenario happened, what would happen? And the dean is like, I will fuck everybody up in the ass and everybody's getting expelled. He's like, I have a zero tolerance for people cheating. You are all fucked. So then Noel's like spiraling out, and he tells Felicity,
Oh my God.
goes
I
right
really
back to
can't.
Felicity.
I really can't with Noel because the dean is like, "Oh, you don't feel comfortable telling me who did this?" And he's like, "No, like I said, it's a friend of a friend." And I love the dean being like, "Is it one of your advisees?" And Noel's face is like blaring, like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes."
Yeah, he looks like one of those blow up dolls that you use for sexual favors.
Oh, with
and
the
they-
hole in the mouth.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, I made the face. He's like, how did you guess that?
Yeah.
He is
I thought I was
crazy."
such a smooth liar.
So Felicity goes back to Noel goes back to Felicity, tells the situation. Felicity's like, I need to tell the truth. Also simultaneously, Ben's like, yo, stay out of this, you idiot fucker. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Hand over the paper that you submitted and my paper, because I want to study your paper so that I
Right.
can answer all the questions that they're going to ask of me. And Felicity's like, but I want to do this. And Ben's like, fucking stop.
Yeah,
Just
you've
stop
done
it.
enough.
You've
Like
done
his
enough.
plan is to basically learn the paper so he can answer their questions. In my mind, the best way to handle this is for Felicity to help him study, to learn the material, to fake out the board.
No, Jess, she's crazy, which
Yeah.
Ben has fully had the realization. This is the first time that Ben has said Felicity is crazy. The first time anybody said
Yeah.
Felicity is crazy, because he wants her to stay away from
That's
her,
fair.
him.
We don't need her any more involved.
No.
Also, the entirety of all of this is happening as Felicity is still wearing the necklace he gave her.
Oh
And I
my
was so shocked he
God.
didn't like rip it off of her neck at any
I
point.
wish. So Felicity is still on the train of like, I need to tell the truth. Noel is like, no, like you can't. But Felicity's like, Noel, can you please talk to Ben about not faking out the people?
Yeah, she's like, Ben won't talk to me. I need you to go talk to him. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so stupid, but
Yeah.
okay. Like as if he's gonna want to talk to Noel. But Noel goes to Ben's apartment and he's like, oh, I didn't even have to buzz in because there was a guy coming in with a bird, and we find out that one of their like neighbors trains birds for commercials.
Why is
so silly?
Why is this need to know info?
Because it was silly and ridiculous, and I hope it comes back.
Okay, and then also throughout this whole thing, I think that Ben is actually trying to cheat and buy papers, but I didn't really get that whole thing.
Oh, Ben is just trying to learn the material on the paper that
But
Felicity
somebody
wrote
was
him.
selling papers. I don't know.
Well, the
Who
dean was
cares?
talking about that. I don't know.
Who
But
cares?
either way, then we also find out that Sean, one of the roommates of Ben, he's like making this wrestling ring or this boxing ring, and he's creating marzipan boxers.
Why, once again, why is this need to know info?
Because it's weird. And at the end of the episode, Ben eats the head of one.
Why?
I don't know.
What's the point? I
It's
don't
a new
understand.
business idea. I think because this is a running through line. Do you remember when we first met Sean? He had like this ideas book, and he was like all pissed off because he blamed Ben for them getting like robbed.
Sure.
I think this is one of his like many creative quote unquote ideas, is to make these like marzipan boxers. They looked full on like plastic. Like there's no way they were edible. But,
I forgot throughout the episode that this was a thing. And when at the end of the episode, Ben took a bite out of it, I was like, this is unhinged.
It's so silly.
I thought it was chocolate. I don't know why we need to know this.
No, I mean, it's silly, right? But so like Noel is trying to be like, listen, like Felicity told me everything and she really cares about you, and like you shouldn't try to learn the whole paper and like fake it. And Ben's like, just tell Felicity I got the message, please. I don't want her help. She's crazy. I just want her to leave me alone.
Get out of here. Go, go,
Yeah.
go. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Okay. Throughout this, oh God, I can't believe it. So now Ben's studying his ass off, and he goes up in front of the disciplinary committee and is answering the questions. Noel and Felicity are in the window listening and watching.
So creepy. Like this is so obvious, like what's happening now.
Yes.
He's been in there for like 15 minutes, and she's just like
are really
so
hard.
nervous. Yeah, but like I don't know. Like I don't know. It's just like very strange. I feel like you're making it 10 times more obvious by just sitting right outside there, you know?
I mean, of course. It's very obvious and very creepy. Ben said, go away, leave me alone. So Ben's answering these really, really hard questions, and he's doing okay, but he's very nervous, understandably so. And eventually he gets caught up on one of the questions and is like, I give up. I cheated. I bought the paper.
Yeah, he
And then-
lies. Which I don't
and
know why
then-
he's protecting Felicity, to be honest.
I don't know. And then Felicity comes busting through the door and is like a superhero and goes, wait, I did it. I wrote the paper. It's my fault. Expel me.
Oh my
And
gosh.
Admits that like she wrote the paper. And I love how one of the dudes was like, why would you do that? And instead, and then Ben's like, it's because I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm
so
stupid.
She thinks I can't do anything. And I just wish that Felicity just stood there and was like, actually, no, that's not why. It's because I'm in love with you.
And I'm a huge fucking nerd.
I'm a huge nerd. So fast forward a little, because you would think Felicity would be like, this man never wants to look at me or see me again.
Seriously.
Does that stop Felicity from following Ben? No, of course not.
She hunts him down on the streets of New York because she just can't let it go.
She
and
can't.
He's like, why did you do it? How bad was my paper? And she says, it wasn't bad, but I'm a geek. I'm a teacher's pet. And I was just trying to add some language to it to get you a better grade. And she talks about how popular he was in school, and she only ever knew how to like take tests and write papers. And yeah, we like find out from the professor that starts this whole situation They meet with him. He's like, "Oh, everything's going to be fine. Like, I'm not going to kick you out. We decided to go light on you, but you are both going to fail this paper. And I just wanted to let you know that if you had turned in your original paper, Ben, you would have gotten a B."
Oh, I would be so mad at Felicity if
Me
this was the
too.
case. And I don't understand. Like, I guess that they have to make Ben responsible a little bit because I mean, you're trying to believe Felicity, but like, how do you really know that he wasn't affiliated in this
Yeah.
at all? But I still don't think it's fair that he still got reprimanded when maybe because he lied. I don't know. Like, he
I
still
think it's
got
maybe
in trouble.
yeah. No, I think it's because they can't, like, there's only so much they can do, right? Like, I feel like there's only so much they'll believe of
Right,
this
like, the
story.
lie is so convoluted and the story is so convoluted now that how can
Yeah.
they ever possibly, like, cipher through the bullshit to
Ye
know what's true and what's not true? But it does suck, and once again, if I was Ben, I would be so mad at Felicity because if it wasn't touched, it would have been a B, and that's a good grade. It's not an A, but it's a good grade, and Felicity
Yeah.
would have gotten her A, but Felicity has to put her hands where it doesn't belong
Yep.
and just fucks everything up. And I mean, they're very lucky that they didn't get into worse trouble than
Yeah,
that,
seriously.
but their GPAs are fucked at this point, it feels
Well,
like,
they're definitely fucked for this specific class because he
which
says this paper is worth a lot and
yeah,
you're both gonna fail it. And yeah, like there's a lot of making up they're gonna have to do. And it's especially tough on Ben because we know Felicity gets A's every 5 seconds.
yeah.
But like Ben, like a B would have been great for his grade, but now
Mhm.
he has an F. So
He's
he's really gonna have to
failing
make
the
up for that.
course. I think he's failing the course. Felicity can still probably get like a C or like a if she gets an
Yeah.
A on like all the other papers, I think it averages out to still being like passable. But
Yeah.
and honestly, in college courses, as long as you pass, it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
but it fucks Ben up because he's gonna have to retake that class.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Not once, but twice this episode, Felicity chases Ben down the New York City streets. This feels like a common thing we're going to be seeing.
Okay.
We always say, like, Joey Potter was a fan of running.
Running
Felicity
away,
is a fan of running after Ben,
running to
running to Ben. Yeah.
okay, at this point in time, would you consider a a restraining order against Felicity?
I mean, yeah, you have
I
to.
I
You
think
have to.
so. If you were Ben, I think at this point you have to, you know that she's obsessed with you. You know that she's in love with you. You know that
Hmm.
she cannot like stop. And like if I see Ben in the next episode flicking cilantro out of her teeth, I'd be like, "Ben, this is all your fault.
Yeah.
You are not putting up the barriers that you need to do." Like
He really needs to set parameters and
yeah.
like enforce them.
Yes, I would fully put up a restraining order against her because she has lost it. And I
Yes.
also think that Felicity needs to get psychological help.
Oh my god, she's needed it, and now
Yeah.
she, like, extra needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now
it's just a nightmare.
you're you are goody two shoes, 1, 2, 3. We know
Yes.
this. And I also know that you kind of liked school. Would there
Yeah.
be any reality where you would be like, I want to go rewrite this paper because it's fun?
No, no. First of all, I liked school, like, in terms of I enjoyed learning, like, I enjoyed learning new things, like, I liked the routine of it. College, I felt like I started to hit a point where I wasn't as into it anymore,
Yeah.
and certainly, like, when you're in college and you have option especially when you're away at college and you, like, have the options to socialize and do all this exciting new stuff, I'm not wasting my time rewriting some dude's paper, especially because I'm not a fucking idiot who would
Yeah.
be like, know that my writing like voice is different than his,
Yeah.
like, listen, you're too smart to make this really, really fucking dumb mistake,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
know?
So you're 18 years old. You haven't lost your V
Mhm.
card. This man is flicking cilantro out of your teeth.
Mhm.
is there a possibility that, like, if you think it is possible for him to be your first love and your first lover, like, would you rewrite his paper?
I
Maybe.
wouldn't do it without his permission.
For the D? For the D. Yeah, you would do anything.
No, I'm saying that I wouldn't just take it
Yeah.
upon myself to rewrite his
Yeah.
paper.
Without
But
telling
if
him?
no. But if he asked me, here's the thing. If one of my friends or someone I liked approached me and was like, "Hey, can you proofread my essay and maybe like help me rework some things?" 1,000% I will do that. I've done that in the past. Like I've reread something and maybe you should reword this sentence, or you're not supposed to end a sentence in like a preposition. You know what I mean? Like help people reword things to make it
Mhm.
sound better. But I'm smart enough to realize that like you can't just take whole paragraphs out and rewrite them, because there are people write in a specific tone, a voice, right? That's why people know in like kidnap situations when they get texts from their friends and it's like, wait a minute, my friend wouldn't say that like that. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of concept. You write in a specific voice. Like it's very obvious when someone
Yeah.
isn't, and obviously again, we're like poking holes a little bit, being like, well, this is a huge lecture class. He wouldn't know specifically, but no, I would help someone if they asked, but I certainly wouldn't just rewrite the whole fucking paper.
Yeah, I wrote papers and handed it over to my ex, and I was like, "You fix it." All the time.
You fix it.
You fix it.
Yeah.
And he did.
I mean,
And I got to reap the benefits.
yeah.
They didn't know. How are they going to know my voice if my ex fixes all my papers?
That's true if you fix all of them. The problem is Felicity's coming in halfway through the semester, you know?
Yeah. What a dummy.
But she really is. She's really fucking stupid. What a dumb mistake. And we end the episode with like another voiceover from Sally, of course. And she's talking about how like her and this new guy, Emmett, were like going too fast. And she says, it's interesting what you did for Ben. I mean, you have this expectation for who he is and for what you want him to be. That's normal. I have the same expectations for Emmett, which I know is unfair. He isn't perfect. He isn't John.
Huh?
And
John's the one that died.
Yeah. And she
I
says,
don't care.
No one cares. Yeah. And she ends the episode with like this quote, like, is it harder to count on someone or to know that you're the one being counted on? If equal affection cannot be, let the more loving one be me. That's not at all appropriate to the situation, Sally. Like, no, if equal affection cannot be, let the more loving one be me. No, Felicity needs to let him go. He doesn't love her.
This is not a good piece of advice.
No, Sally sucks at advice.
Sally is a figment of Felicity's imagination.
Yeah.
So obviously she's going to give advice that benefits Felicity.
Yeah.
So it basically, so that poem means like, you know, if you're in a relationship and like, I would rather be the one that puts my heart out and loves more for the sake of loving than be the one that has like, and take that risk, than be the one that's like closed off and not take risks.
I think it's also I think it's generally the idea of like, in your household, instead of it being 50-50, always try to be the one giving 60%, because then nobody is ever going to feel like it's inequitable. You know, like if the affection isn't equal, just like give as much love as you can and don't necessarily have expectations of it returning. But I think like the way Felicity loves is so fucking toxic. Like, and I think she just needs to leave him the fuck alone. Like, obviously you're ruining this guy's life.
Oh my gosh.
Just leave him alone, please, Felicity. My God.
She's special, Felicity.
She's unhinged.
A special girl.
Yeah.
I did like this episode a lot. I thought that it was very entertaining. I did watch it with my friend Andrew, and we just kind of talked and made fun of everybody throughout it. And I'm starting to realize that is probably how Felicity, the show, should be consumed.
Yes.
By watching it with a friend that makes you laugh and just like ragging on everybody.
You need to, because Felicity doesn't act in a normal manner. She's like lost her damn mind every single episode. So you
Yeah.
can't approach it with a normal person mindset. Maybe the like Julia and Elena storylines you can, but certainly never the Felicity storyline.
Yeah, it was really fun watching it with Andrew because he's never watched Felicity
Oh, so
before.
he's just coming in.
He just came in, but he caught on real quick, and he's like, "This bitch is crazy."
She really is.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some feedback. First, I have to shout out to our friend Todd because he was like, wait a minute, Solaris isn't 3 hours long. And I said, wait a minute, Todd, this movie came out in 2002. And he said that was a remake. And so thank you, Todd, for correcting me before I came on the podcast and embarrassed myself.
Yeah, I'm really glad that he made you not look like a dummy, but
it's fine.
you
I look
outed-
like a
you-
dummy all the time. I
you
outed
outed
myself.
yourself anyway.
Well, I
Yeah.
had to give him credit. You know, we love Todd. We have
Good
to give
job, Todd.
credit. Okay, let's get into some feedback here because we do have some voicemails to listen to. First, let's listen to a voicemail from Temmie.
Hi, ladies. Happy holidays. Well, I just want to say thanks, bro, DBK. Thanks for seeing me about the timeline thing. Your alias as DBK is really cool. I wanted to mention that the pink guy, he was a regular character on My So-Called Life. I think every episode.
Oh. Did you recognize him?
And then I also wanted to remember that Kerry Russell guest starred on Boy Meets World as Mr. Feeney's niece or grandniece.
Eric,
I think she might have been a love interest for Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Until next year, ladies. Peace.
Oh my God, did he just do DBK's exit?
Yeah.
That's I love how our listeners talk to each other in their voicemails. It's so adorable.
It sounds like Temmie is really looking for an alias nickname, and I will work on that for you.
Oh, we should workshop it.
DBK's came up organically because I don't think I wanted to call him Dirtbag Kelly all the time.
Yeah, now he just always is DBK.
He's DBK.
Okay, yeah, I remember Kerry Russell because that was the episode that Eric like takes a bag of like fertilizer and just chucks it across.
And then Kerry Russell like breaks character.
Is it her Jessica? I feel like it might be. Yeah.
I really like that episode because I also think it's the one where Morgan was like, "Hello, my name is Morgan. I am Eric's sister. My brother Eric is so nice and friendly." And I also think it's not the roller coaster one, right? I don't know.
It's not the roller coaster episode because that's the one Feeney and Corey go on the roller coaster.
Right. I just remember that they went to the carnival because Morgan was like, "Hello, my name is Morgan. I am the sister of Eric. He is going to bring me to the carnival because he's so nice."
Yeah, and that was original Morgan before they recast her. That was the Morgan that yells.
The cuter. I thought she was really cute though.
She was cute, but she screamed all her lines. That was like the high. That was the high watermark for that Morgan.
That was the highest that she got.
Yeah, that episode.
Once again, I watched all of My So-Called Life. I did not remember Pink Eye at all.
Well, if we cover it, we'll be able to shout him out on that podcast.
Yeah. My good friend Reserve 7858 on Instagram. I probably got the numbers wrong, but they are begging for My So-Called Life.
Okay. Well, we've talked about it. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the new year.
Mm-hmm. And then also they and some other people really want us to cover the show. What's the show? Sorry. Let me refer back to the
Sarah
comments.
panically goes
panic. They want us to do something. Party of 5. That has been requested multiple times.
Oh, Party of 5. Yeah.
Party of 5.
I know. I like know of that show because it has Matthew Fox in it.
Yeah. It's like POF, Plenty of Fish, but POF. Party of 5.
And actually it takes place almost all in the 90s. Like it finished up in 2000. So it's like a true 90s show.
So let's put that in the maybe pile.
Yeah.
Now we know for a fact that if you ask us enough, Um,
Don't let them know that, even though
Okay.
it's true.
Everybody knows that because that's how we're here talking about Felicity.
It's true. All right. I do have the aforementioned DBK also sent in a voicemail, so let's see what he has to say.
What up, though, ladies? Okay, cheating. This is the episode from Dawson's Creek way back when that you guys watched a little bit of. It was in the Dawson's Creek episode. But yeah, it's Felicity rewriting Ben's paper. Tough episode to watch because I just know you guys are going to be all over Felicity again this episode, being like, what are you doing, Felicity? You're so crazy. I mean, she's just trying to help Ben get a better grade. And Ben's like bad at school. I know he would have got to be on this paper, but I mean, come on. Anyways, I think in the next 2 episodes, you guys might turn the corner on Felicity because in my head, that's what I thought at first when you guys started hating on her. I was like, oh, maybe after something happens, you'll turn the corner on her. So we'll wait and see. We got another appearance of Sean. He, I don't know what marzipan boxers are, but that was his business idea. I don't think this is a great one, but it's the one we know of right now. So I guess, yeah. What do you think of it? We get a cameo from the American Pie guy at the movie that read Solaris to Julie. And we get Julie and Pink Guy going to the movie, Elena standing Blair up. And yeah, and I really enjoyed Elena and Felicity's conversation in the elevator. Funny stuff. You want to talk to me about boys and then kill it and eat it. I mean, funny lines. I really enjoy Carrie Russell. I think she's really good in this role as Felicity. I think she pulls it off well. And yeah, for winner of the episode, I'm gonna give it to Noel because like he saved Ben's life by again Felicity to like fess up. So yeah, I hope everyone had a good holidays and yeah, till next week, ladies. Peace.
I think we need to start tracking, like, obviously we only have one so far, but like, okay, marzipan boxer is the first invention of Sean's. I by the way DBK is saying it, I have to imagine we're gonna get way more of these.
So it's very specific. I think I'm pro marzipan boxer, but I need the whole world of sports, like, or maybe famous movie scenes. Like, imagine like a candy version of Titanic. Like, I'm the king of the world.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
No one wants a marzipan boxer.
No, but like I think that like if he has this talent to put together little figurines, like let's run the gambit, like anything that you want, it's totally customizable. I will make it for you. If your favorite movie is Mean Girls, let's do the scene where they're walking down the hallway, or like the Santa
the Jingle Bell Rock.
Like, let's go big. Like, let's not limit ourselves to boxers. So
yeah, because if he's really that talented at like custom making them, you could do anything with it.
Exactly. So I think it's a great business idea. I just want to expand it, and instead of maybe marzipan, let's go chocolate. As long as it's fully edible, I think it's okay. So I say 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I agree. I think we just need to expand the idea. I agree, because you can make customizable figures. I just don't think there's a huge like market out there for boxer marzipan.
For boxers specifically. Yeah. So
also DBK sent us a follow-up message too, where he said, and this is for the last episode, where he said giving jewelry is a bad move and probably says too much. When Ben gave Felicity the necklace.
Yeah, too early. Early in the non-relationship. Also, it doesn't give proper boundaries in the leave me the fuck alone category.
Yeah.
If you're giving people jewelry, but
just
my opinion. And then I mean, I think that I like to see more interactions between Elena and Felicity. And I do think that Carrie Russell's acting is really good. Like I'm not saying that she's a bad actress. Like, I think that she's playing Felicity really, really well. Like, I think that it is well acted. But Felicity's a little crazy, but I'm very interested in what's happening next, because it might be a two-parter, Jessica.
It's a two-parter. Yeah. So before we talk about the winner of the episode, I'll set up next week. There's part 1 and part 2. We're covering them under one podcast. So
Okay.
if you're going to listen to the podcast, just make sure you watch both episodes before you do. So episode 7 and 8, and they're called Drawing the Line, part 1 and part 2.
Okay, there
Drawing
we
the line.
go.
That feels like a boundary line. Like maybe Ben is finally going to put some boundaries between him and Felicity.
He's been.
Yeah, he's been
So,
trying.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should talk about who won the episode, because I have a very strong feeling on who I think deserves to win this episode.
Okay. You go after you, my love.
I think that Julie is the one who made the best moves this episode, because she's willing to go watch a shitty long movie with a guy she likes. And she's like, I don't want to seem like an idiot. I'm going to do some research. And I feel like that was a really good move. And on top of that, she also came clean to Pink Guy. And as a result, they had like a really nice little honest combo and ended up cuddling on the couch at the end of the episode. To me, that's like thumbs up for her.
Yep, I totally agree with you. I think that Julie had a great episode. I would have even said Pink Guy, but I think that Pink Guy
he picked a really shitty long movie to go see.
No, that's not why. That's not why. He did something. I don't remember what it was, but he did something that I didn't love. But I think that Julie is definitely the winner. If not Julie, probably Noel. But
Noel gets wrapped up in more Felicity drama. I just don't think first, and also going to the dean and pretending like it's like a friend of a friend is a dumb move.
Yeah. Yeah, but his lips looked very kissable this episode.
But you can't give him points every episode because of how kissable his lips look.
You know what? Never mind. I can't say this. I just want to say, going back to the number 69, I knew that he would probably be skilled in that department.
Oh, I mean, definitely. Noel is definitely okay. Here's the situation. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but the reality is Noel is a very giving person and a very generous person. And you know that translates to the bedroom because he's a little insecure. So he's going to try harder.
I would fuck Scott Foley. With zero caveats.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. He's a very attractive man.
Call me Scott Foley.
Yeah.
I'm a taken woman, but call me.
And that's our episode. So yeah, next episode's Drawing the Lines part 1 and 2. And yeah, this is a ridiculous episode of Felicity, but like a really funny one to watch.
I think it might be like my favorite one so far.
Oh my gosh.
It could have been my watching companion. Maybe I just need Andrew to watch every episode with me.
Yeah, because you have someone to just like chuckle with as you watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already said we're watching 2 episodes next week. What else do we have going on? Let's see. It's now the new year.
Happy New Year. So this month, I think we're doing some sort of like music themed month for movies. So is that correct, Jess?
I'm looking because I can't remember. Yes.
Yeah.
I made up a name for it.
Did we jam in January?
It was
some
jam in
bullshit?
January.
That's so embarrassing. So we're covering Empire Records, and we're doing That Thing You Do. But on top of that, like we realized that both movies have Liv Tyler in it. So it's
kind of
Liv Tyler month.
Inadvertently Liv Tyler month.
Woo fucking who. So I don't know when those are coming out. They're coming out eventually. But if you did not listen to our coverage of I'll Be Home for Christmas, we made a very interesting and exciting announcement. We are starting a brand new show to cover in the new year. That is not a shortened thing like Freaks and Geeks. No, Jessica. No.
We're crazy like Felicity.
We are crazy just like Felicity. We're starting 2 chunky chunk shows together. Shit 90 shows. We said it was a new era. And we are ready to cover 2 shows simultaneously again. Now, Jessica, do you want to make the announcement of what that show is? Our brand new show that we're coming.
I feel like this is long awaited. I think it's not a show that there's a shortage of podcasts on. However, neither of us has seen this show, and we're really excited. A lot of people hold this show near and dear to their hearts. We're going to be covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
We will.
So
Yes.
a lot of seasons. We got 7 seasons of content, and these are like chunky ass 20-something episode seasons, except for the first season. So we're really excited. We're going to have some guests on along the way. We hope you all will be joining us for that. If you're a Buffy fan, if you haven't seen Buffy and want to watch for the first time, it's going to be completely spoiler free. We couldn't spoil it if we tried because we know nothing about the show beyond there's a vampire slayer named Buffy. So we're really excited about it. We're going to be putting out a little bit of like a teaser trailer podcast, and we're starting it next week. So get amped.
Yep, I'm ready. So check that out. We're
and
really excited.
They're going to be dropping. So if you've been around for a minute, you know that our Dawson's Creek podcast dropped on Monday. And now obviously Felicity drops on Monday. Boy Meets World, you should drop on Thursday. So Buffy will drop on Thursday. So we're going to still stick with our Thursday release schedule.
Thursday release schedule. So send in your thoughts, send in your feedback for that. We are excited to go on this brand new adventure. It's truly a new era, and Shit 90 Shows taught me. So we're ready to bite in deep into like the neck, like vampires do, or whatever they do. Right?
Exactly. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah. Ready to sink our teeth into some Buffy.
Yum.
But yeah, that's what we have going on. So if you have anything to send in, any feedback at all you ever want to send in, shit90spod at Twitter, on Twitter and Instagram, shit90spod@gmail.com. And we also have a website, shit90spod.com, where you can leave voicemails like DBK, like Temmie, like everybody else that does. Send in your voice. We want to hear you. We want to hear what you have to say. Please don't send in spoilers for Buffy. I will be upset. Please don't do that.
We want to hear from you, just not that.
Just not spoilers. We don't want to hear that from you.
We don't want to.
Anything else we want to add to the folks?
No,
Sarah?
that's all. I don't have anything else. That's enough for me.
Yeah, you can find me at the Just Sterling. I do stuff over at Pro Show Recaps. I've plugged it a million times. You know where to find me. But thank you all for joining us on this lovely journey, and we will talk to you all next week. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Just ask. Shit 90 Shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.